Once upon a time, there was a young couple, Marie and Jean, who were deeply in love and had everything to be happy. They lived in a quiet little town where they both worked in a bookstore. One day, while they were taking their daily walk in the woods, they witnessed a strange occurrence. An old man who was walking around with a stick stopped in front of them and told them about a magic stone called the Philosopher's Stone, which had the power to give immortality. Intrigued by this story, Marie and Jean decided to embark on a quest to find this stone. They started scouring all the books in the bookstore for clues to the location of the stone, but they couldn't find any serious leads. Determined to continue their quest, they decided to leave their town and travel the land in search of the stone. They traveled through many places and met many strange and mysterious characters who gave them clues to the location of the stone. To find the Philosopher's Stone, Mary and John had to visit many different and exotic places. The tropical island of Cabal. This island was covered with lush forests and whites and beaches. The waters around the island were filled with colorful fish and brilliant corals. Marie and Jean were welcomed by the inhabitants of the island, a warm and welcoming people who offered them exotic fruits and intoxicating music. The ice island of Densiris. This island was covered in snow and ice and was populated by strange creatures like ice dwarves and white wolves. Marie and Jean had to dress warmly for the freezing temperatures, but they were rewarded with stunning views of the northern lights and frozen landscapes. The desert island of Gladi. This island was covered in dunes and giant cacti. It was very hot and dry there, and the only signs of life were snakes and lizards hiding in the rocks. Marie and Jean were forced to find water and food in hidden oases to survive. The tropical island of Malov. This island was covered with lush forest and rivers meandering through the jungle. There were many exotic creatures like howler monkeys and colorful birds. Marie and Jean were welcomed by the natives of the island, who taught them how to hunt and how to move in the jungle. The mountainous island of Thorinka. This island was covered with steep mountains and dark forests. There were many dangerous creatures like dragons and mountain giants. Marie and Jean had to be very careful traveling through this island, but they were rewarded with magnificent views of snow-capped peaks and green valleys. Mary and John eventually found the hidden cave in the mountains where the Philosopher's Stone was located. The cave was dark and damp and was filled with stalactites and stalagmites. Deep in the cave, they saw a burst of light and approached to see what it was. They then saw the Philosopher's Stone, which shone with a golden glow. The stone was wrapped in a nest of a magic bird, a phoenix with golden wings and glittering feathers. Marie and Jean were fascinated by the beauty of the stone and decided to take it. They reached out to grab it, but the phoenix squealed. The phoenix told Marie and Jean that the Philosopher's Stone was a very powerful and dangerous object. She could give immortality, but she did not come without a great sacrifice. According to the phoenix, everyone who used the stone ended up experiencing misfortune and suffering, and he wanted to prevent that from happening to Mary and John. The phoenix told them that he could not give them the stone without telling them the whole truth about its powers and warning them of the dangers it posed. Everyone who used the stone had to give up something valuable, whether it was their fortune, their family, or their own lives. Marie and Jean thought about these words and finally decided not to use the stone. They understood that the love and joy they shared was more important than anything else, and they didn't want to risk losing what they had.